everybody, it's your girl Lysandra here from Metamorphosis Custom Beauty Concepts. Here we are again. I'm talking to you about my book, The Wisdom Keys for Surviving the Beauty Beast. And I rated the cover. I like this headshot a whole lot better. I just think it looks more natural. I love a black and white photo. So, I'm going to be speaking to you out of the table of contents. And I don't spare anything or anybody in this book. If I worked around you, worked with you at this time, you know that I'm talking about you. And I told you I was going to totally Taylor Swift you. She writes about her exes. I write about other people that I've come across. So the reason why I wrote the book is because had there been anything in existence or a market for a book like this, my career would have been different. And my goal is, if I can spare anybody from the trauma, the mistakes that I made, the consequences that I suffered for some of my actions, I would definitely, Excuse me. Girl needs to sip from a mason jar. So I've been doing this now for 17 years, and it has completely flown by. I've done things that have only existed in my imagination, such as winning trips to Malibu, flying around the country, things of that nature, and it's all through cosmetology. So if I could say my last 17 years has been worth it and been amazing, I would totally thumbs up. But has it had its hard difficulties? Absolutely. So I'm going to start with chapter 1 in the beginning. You can get my book on the website or on Lulu, that's LULU.com, or on www.metamorphcbc.com. Hold on. Sorry, I had to adjust a couple little things. So starting with chapter 1 in the beginning, I started when I was 17 years old. And I was at a little school in Fairfield, California. It was either you're going into tech or you're going into cosmetology. So that's what the state was willing to pay for at my age. So how I got into this field was through my mother. And she went to heaven October 28th, 2016. And she was my model for me to get my state board license, cosmetology license. She was there for me when I got my barber's license, not as a model, but they still required models at that time. And she was with me through everything. Poor thing had a pulmonary embolism. It wasn't caught or looked for. It's just a whole bunch of rigmarole. But she was 59. Actually, this was her. So I say this and I dedicate this video to my loving mother, Sharon. Thank you for everything, Mommy. I'm glad I got through that. Anyway. Okay, so back to the subject at hand. My first time in beauty school, I was in school with 33 other women. And I didn't realize how women can be when they're all together. If you want to ask about, should we have had a reality show, we definitely should have. The police got called to the school more times than I care to recall. One girl slashed another girl's tires while I was there. I had never seen people like this, and I was not mentally prepared. Also, no one told me that my body was going to change over time because of the work that I do. Nobody told me nobody was going to hand me anything. I thought that salons basically have their business through people just walking in, and I felt that back then salons should provide clientele, and this should not just be something that you're always hunting for, because how do you start something from nothing? And so this was a question that I asked, but nobody could really answer. When it was time for me to look for a job, I had my license, I had gone through beauty school, and I really couldn't do hair. I wasn't prepared. So that's a part of my passion as a professional, is to one day have a facility where I train people for a career. A lot of schools blow smoke up your behind. I'm just being honest. It's not fair that you start out in beauty school and you're in debt, maybe $20,000. because those kits, they cost an astronomical price. I really want to start it and get around it, and get you all moving. I want to give people what I did not have. And if I can say that cosmetology has been my greatest teacher, I would say it's one of the greatest, right? Not next to, but not even in the same category as Jesus Christ, who was my first greatest teacher. But because I got saved and I really came to the Lord at 17 years old, because a group of girls decided to kind of gang up on me just because I sat down while we were doing a haircut. Always in other people's business. I always got something to say. And just, I think that the structure of beauty schools is wrong. I'll say it again. I think the structures of most beauty schools, barber colleges, all of you, I think it's wrong. Because how are you going to stick a group of people in here that are all on different levels and everything that need mentorship and training? They don't just need to get past state board. They need to come out and recoup their losses that they've had, basically going into your facility. So a lot of places, I mean, I'm not talking about, if I'm not talking about you, eat up the meat and spit out the bones, but it's just something that I had to get off my chest. And I do want people to know, this is real. If you decide that while you're in beauty school, you need to decide if this is really for you. Can you stand on your feet all day? Do you know how to handle difficult personalities? Do you know how to mind your own business? It will save you a buttload of trouble just if you mind your own business. Some people act like that. It's just so hard. So that's what in the beginning is about. My chapter 2 is about the freshman room. Well, again, I was in a room of 33 different women, 33 personalities. We're all different backgrounds. One day we're all cutting hair. I sit down in a chair because I didn't have my muscles built up yet. And the instructor wanted us to stand as long as we possibly could through learning how to cut hair. And one of the students said, "Lysandra, get up." And I'm like, if I need to sit down in the chair, why do I owe anybody an explanation? And it's just like one person after the other was like, I'm not going to repeat that because I don't go down to that level. But why did I need to get cussed out just for sitting in a chair? I wasn't hurting anybody. What did what I was doing have anything to do with you? That's a conversation I've had throughout my entire career with somebody in the salon that had to try me. So if I have to make an example out of people, that's what I call it. I don't care where we are. No. I teach you how to look for certain body language, because people in management that are over you, they have different conversations than people that just work with you. And the reason why this book has a sequel is because I'm not done. Nope, I'm going to talk about everything, my nitty gritty. My chapter 3 is about building your business before you leave school, because you need to go to school, go throughout it with you and your family in mind. I knew what I was doing was going to make me rich. That's the reason why I started. All those girls that I started with, the 33, I was the only one that graduated out of my class. Everyone else, they got pregnant, they fought, they got expelled, they stole things, and our school had no policy for that and no tolerance for it either. People in the real world, they don't care if you have children. I'm sorry to say. I'm just here to keep it real. They don't care if you have children, if they fall and break a hip, break a leg, they get hit by a car. They don't care. Most people in the world are like, you need to get somebody to cover your shift. That's it. If you're expecting people to cater to you or have an understanding, and I talk about in my book, find some people that are prepared to take you on in your situation. Don't give a false persona that I'm professional, I know everything, I know how to do everything. You don't. There's going to be things that come through the door. I'm talking straight out of beauty school. You are not prepared for. This is why I'm so imperative and it's so important that you get mentorship. Not just assisting somebody just to be their little assistant, because a lot of people are just looking for a technical slave. If you're going someplace and you're buying somebody's coffee, you're sweeping floors and all that, that's good for training. Don't do it for more than a year. You don't need all that. I'm just saying, if you can't mop a floor at your own house, you don't know how to clean a toilet, I don't know what to say for you as far as this industry is concerned, because everybody's trying to step on everybody. 9 times out of 10. There are a rare few people that I've actually seen that actually want the people that work with them to get ahead. people are very intimidated and afraid. That's why I call this the beauty beast. It is dog eat dog, cutthroat. Like I said, they don't care about your kids. They don't care about your family matters. Nothing like that. Even when my mother passed away, I was working at a job and the manager said the most insensitive thing you could have said to me at that time. I'm spiritually wide open, and I came back to work too soon. I came back to work a week after because I'm like, I have to get my mind off of her. I can't keep going through all this. And my manager sat me down and she was like, what happened to your productivity? Because I was the highest, most productive, highest selling in retail products. Did the most cuts in an hour, just a strictly hair cutting place. She was like, what happened to your productivity? You know, I'm not saying a whole lot of commitment to the job. We really want to promote you and give you a raise to $13 an hour. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. That is a slap in the face. Then secondly, you want to treat me like I'm not human. And all I responded to her with, I'm like, you know how long I've been doing this? You know what it takes for me to get out of bed in the morning? That was my best friend. I'm sorry, you know, my personal issues is impinging on your business and everything. I should have taken my bereavement time. Looking back on it, I shouldn't have been there at all, because I was not in the right frame of mind to work. But she did not care because she just needed her numbers. I understand it is still a business. The world still has to move on and everything. But functioning on autopilot while I'm at my lowest and my most heartbroken, it was just insensitive. It was inhuman. I got my stuff and I left. So, I mean, if I wouldn't have done it, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be talking to you. So, everything works out for a reason. There are some parts of this industry that are brutal and you're treated like you're not human. And just another pair of hands, and to most people, sorry to break it to you, you are. I don't go to work necessarily to make friends, because we work in a very tight circle. The same people that you see 10 years from now, you might be working for. You got to be careful how you treat people. But do I have the right to walk off of something that I feel like is becoming toxic? Absolutely. Because working at this place that I was at the time that my mother passed away, you clean the salon on your own. 5,000 square foot space. You mopped floors, you swept, you took out all the trash while everybody else is still working. You swept all the floors. You cleaned the bathroom. If there wasn't a hand mop, guess what you used? A towel on the floor, and you swept it over with your foot. That's what we had. You clean the break room. You clean out the refrigerator. What kind of place were you working at, girl? The same place that you're working at. I'm sure that there's something there that you don't like. Long story short, if there's something that is bothering you that much to a certain point, focus on getting your own business. Have your own. There's nothing like having your own. There's nothing like this. Because had the shoe been on the other foot, I'm sorry. I'm a Leo. I do things from my heart. I plan on setting up a savings fund that's an emergency fund where we can take like 10% of your earnings, put it in an account, but you only get to use it once a year. So that's great that you save up, a tenth of your income. You don't know, you might pop a tire, you might need to move. God forbid that there's a death in your family. But all I can say is, like, I don't know how people feel that are grieving, because we all grieve differently. But for me, I needed to sleep. Couldn't sleep. One more, sorry. So that was one of the things that if I would have built my business while I was in beauty school, having known then what I know now, I would have done things differently. I would have asked for help more. And matter of fact, this video I'm just dedicating to all of you beauty students and barber students. Hang in there. Don't miss a day. Finish what you started. And I'm always here for you if you ever have any questions, or I might seem abrupt and a little bit abrasive about this, but it's because I'm so passionate. I have been there and done that. I have been from franchises to corporate owned They are all the same wreck. Just so you know, if you decide this is not for you, there's no shame in that. My last chapter that I'm going to go over with for you today is chapter 4, customer service, which is beyond all priority. It's not just about being nice to your customers anymore. It's about providing them with an experience. I offer alcoholic beverages to my clients. That's their thing. It's not necessarily mine. I just do it as a gift because this day and age, you must step your game up. My skill level today is nothing like it was. When I first graduated cosmetology school, I couldn't even hold a comb. I couldn't even comb hair. I couldn't wash hair. I was just taught to pass state board. That is all. So if I can give a word of advice to any of you beauty schools, if you're still tuned in listening to me, firstly, I just feel it would be in your best interest. Stop looking at your instructors for everything that goes wrong in your train wreck. Because I've instructed as well. And if I can talk about some sheer stupidity that I've seen coming out of an administration office, if you say that a student is not a good caliber, I understand that you got to make your money. On the average, most of you all make $1 million a year. Basically, that's through government funding. Mm-hmm. Because we start these kids out in a whole bunch of debt. I'm just spilling all your tea, aren't I? We start students out in a whole bunch of debt and things that they can't possibly pay back, so it's almost like they have to finish what they started. What isn't fair is you place so many demands on these young people that they're not ready for this. On their first day, they need to be mentally prepared. At the facility that I like to own in the near future, I want my students to be mentally prepared. You have 3 days to decide if you're sticking with it or if you're not. If you're not, that's fine. I'm not going to suffer. It's okay. There is way more in here than just a beauty school. So when I look at it like that, if it comes down to me working another 9 to 5, I always look at what in the world are these people offering me as an incentive to stay. Are there promotions? Is there any room for me to move up? But it's a real reason for me to be here. So, as far as that goes, your students are your customers. All of your students need to be taught customer service. They need to be taught how to respect those in authority. In my facility, you have one time to backtalk, disrespect, hurt, slander an instructor. I will lead you out of my doors like your butt is on fire. And I mean that. There's no reason in the world for it coming to people wrong that try to help. And if you have an instructor that is not to par, whatever, do what you do. I'm just offering a word of advice, but I'm more than just a mouth. I always do what I say I'm going to do. And students need to be mentally prepared to take on clients. All of them are not going to have great attitudes. They're not going to be nice to you just because you're inexperienced and they know that you're a student. They need to be prepared to handle difficult personalities because everybody doesn't have to be good and nice to you, and they don't have to treat you the way that you treat them. A lot of people have not learned that because some people's parents are just so in love with them that they don't tell them the real deal. Everybody's not nice, dear. There's some really rude, crappy people out there, and we don't have to serve them. So that being said, hope I wasn't too harsh. I'll see you next time. It's coming off from a place of love and peace. God bless.